What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Pete Davidson's third stand-up comedy special, Turbo Fonzarelli. Pete Davidson back, new special on Netflix. His first special since Alive from New York came out right before the pandemic, out on Netflix early 2020. So it's been a while for Pete in the traditional special space. Of course, we know Pete Davidson is out here. He's always in the news, usually for tabloid reasons, but Pete Davidson is frankly one of the most famous stand-up comedians alive right now. I think that's kind of obvious, you know. And despite all the fact that he's usually more famous for other reasons than his stand-up comedy, I think he's never at any time been held up as like this amazing comic, despite the fact that I think he performs semi-regularly. He's done a lot of in tandem stuff with his buddy John Mulaney, that's for sure. And if anything, I think some of the funniest stuff I've seen from him is when he's made fun of himself at his own expense. I think just this past year, the "I'm Just Pete" riff off "I'm Just Ken" from Barbie on SNL, Pete's return to SNL post leaving the show. I thought that was incredibly clever and witty and really fun. You know, Seeing a new special from Pete, I was curious if there would be signs of, growth on that traditional front. He's never been one to, I think, stick to like a lot of structure or form when it comes to shaping a stand up special. This time around, there were some callbacks, but generally speaking, it's kind of more of what the vibe has previously been with Pete, which is both good and bad, I guess you could say. Like, I think generally I find him as a funny guy just because I think his general persona and presence is just kind of amusing and charming to me. Now, that's kind of in contrast with I think his general special, his special creation, his general joke writing, which ultimately is pretty basic. It's pretty simple. He's not like the cleverest guy. He's not the most intricate weaver of webs to tell you a joke in the special. He kind of does down the middle stuff, and in this case, some of that's like, kind of juvenile stuff, a little toilet humor at times. And yeah, he still makes me laugh. Sometimes like a really hard chuckle from time to time, especially with this special. But nothing I think with Turbo Fonzarelli really stands out beyond what he has previously done. And like I said, that's both good and bad. Looking ahead, I'm actually kind of excited about this new movie he has coming out called Wizards from A24, co-starring with Franz Rogowski. That I think has some potential. Probably going to premiere at South by Southwest earlier this year. But like this past year, he had the comedy special or comedy series Bupkis premiere on Peacock. I don't think that made too much noise, right? But getting to the special itself, talking about him recently turning 30, and it's a lot of like referential stuff about his life, right? His drug use, um, using ketamine while being high on ketamine while at Aretha Franklin's funeral, which he did attend. That's like a real anecdote. Evidently, that made some news. That was a headline out of this special, right? Kind of amusing just for its forthrightness. Of course, he was there as a companion to Ariana Grande, who was really attending the funeral. Anyway, yeah. That stuff was kind of fun. I guess like the melatonin joke about melatonin from an Italian. I thought was kind of funny. Um, Him talking about his mom actually is probably some of the best stuff here. It's definitely crass, talking about his mom wanting a facelift, his mom having not having been laid in 20 years. I guess that's kind of a fun callback to, his last special. A lot of stuff in that was about his dad who passed away, on 9/11, which of course was also the subject of King of Staten Island in a certain respect, right? The movie he made a few years ago. And I guess kind of following that up, talking about how his mom is today, kind of funny, you know, um, making making a lot of jokes about people hypothetically having sex with his mom, including himself, just to like get the monkey off her back. It's kind of funny if it's even if a tad off putting, I guess. I think the stuff I didn't like the most in this was when he was talking about how he thought maybe he was gay in his youth because he really liked Leonardo DiCaprio. Just didn't think anything was super intricate in any of that. It was just kind of like annoying. Like, I don't know. I didn't find it super funny. Like, it just kind of felt like random, uh, conception. Like I bet he just made it up for the sake of the special, but it wasn't really that funny. So like, there's nothing really to let go. It just doesn't really land. I think what lands a bit better, which is probably the crassest of the jokes he make, is everything talks about the Make-A-Wish kid, right? And and he kind of concludes it, which I think is kind of funny, his POV, where he's talking about like wanting the kid to make sure the kid does in fact die because he kind of opened up the kid and told him a lot of secrets, and he's obviously someone who gets a lot of media attention, so he wants to make sure those secrets die with this Make-A-Wish kid, right? But he kind of ends it with like a pedophile joke, but then he says, "Hey, I got molested in the past, so I'm allowed to say those things." That was actually like really funny, to be honest. Uh, Stuff with the stalker I thought was amusing, talking about his Crohn's disease and how people bring it up to him will also have Crohn's, kind of grounding all this like in stuff we know about Pete and like the persona, the cult of personality of Pete Davidson and the guy with BDE and the guy with all the tabloid attention. Obviously he makes a lot of kind of offhand jokes and references as part of other jokes about all the girls he's with are always hot, right? And like that's kind of what I want from him. Just kind of lean into your persona and do that, because I'm not expecting like too much more. I'm not expecting anything too clever or intricate, and that's not really what you get here. You know, the master bedroom stuff kind of basic as well, but broadly amusing. Yeah, I mean that's Pete Davidson, man. I would love him to do more movies. Like I said, looking forward to Wizards. Hopefully that comes out this year. And in general, I think he's like shown good promise in movies. Like I thought he was pretty good in King of Staten Island. I thought he was pretty good in Big Time Adolescence. Put him in more stuff. Lately he's done a lot of cameos as himself. He's done a lot of commercials. Right, the guy's rich, and the guy obviously has no problems in his dating life, as we know. Good for him in all those respects. But I would like him to take some more chances with movies and kind of go for that, because he's a star. And it'd be cool if he was a comedy movie star as well. Maybe he could help lift up the studio comedy space, which certainly needs some juice. We'll see. But yeah, as far as a special, it's kind of more of the same, you could say. It's just kind of, another Pete Davidson special. It doesn't really change your opinion of him, whether that was a positive or negative opinion. So I was amused at times. Didn't hate watching it by any means. Let me know, what did you think of Turbo Fonzarelli? Did you think it was a small, at least, step forward for Pete, but still kind of what you expect from him when it comes to stand-up? Let me know, and for more stand-up reviews, movie reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.